Just after 6 a.m., the professor's wife wakened to find her husband had never come up to bed at all. So going downstairs, she opened the study door quietly, lest she should disturb them if they were both asleep. But she found the professor sitting at his desk writing, for he had not felt he could sleep after that long talk, while his guest, who was huddled up in an armchair, slept feverishly, and might wake and need his company, for he was obviously unnerved. The professor followed his wife into the kitchen, and they discussed what they could do to help Hermann out of the party, or perhaps first onto a different kind of work. It was difficult. There were others in this position, and yet he was only 19 and ought to be helped, because too often the professor had seen how some of them had got over this kind of initial revulsion and later became brutalized and pathological members of the party. "Anyhow," said his wife, "I will get breakfast, for we must get him away early for his own sake." The professor's children were delighted when they were told that breakfast was to be nearly an hour earlier and that they might get up at once. Soon the two eldest came tumbling downstairs and were rather taken aback when they found their guest was an SS man. Although they had never actually seen any trouble in their home, Edward, who was 8 years old, knew enough from his school friends to realize there was often trouble when they came. However, he greeted him in a friendly way, but Liesel, aged 4, a timid little girl, was not so sure and decided to sit on her mother's lap for family prayers, which they always had before breakfast. Liesel never took her eyes off Hermann, for she had all the child's sure instinct for recognizing suffering, and somehow she felt he was very unhappy, and during the singing of the hymn she even suspected he was trying not to cry. As soon as prayers were over, she climbed from her mother's lap, and going across to Hermann, she put her hands on his knees and looking up into his face said, "Warum bist du so traurig? Why are you so sad?"